Hi, Assalamualaikum and very good day to all students. Here is the video regarding to pile foundations. The first part of this video is just to talk about the introduction for estimating pile capacity, since we know that when we try to design the pile foundations, we need to determine the capacity of pile, because we need to consider the ability of the pile to sustain the load from the building. Here is the video content for this pile foundations lecture. Okay, the first content is about the introduction of pile bearing capacity. When we talk about pile bearing capacity, you need to determine the QU, or sometimes we consider as a Q ultimate. Where how to get the Q ultimate, we will further discuss after this. And then you need to determine the Q allowable. Where to get the Q allowable, you need to use the Q ultimate divided by factor of safety. Okay, the second part is about the point bearing. Sometimes we consider as a N bearing value. Okay, we consider is as a QB, sometimes we consider as a QP, sometimes we consider as QP or QB, means that Q ultimate bearing. Okay, and the next part is about the friction resistance. Sometimes we consider as a skin resistance. Right, the term skin resistance, frictional resistance, and also sometimes we consider a shaft resistance. Is a same term. Okay, so this one is QS, or we consider as a QUS. Alright, and then the next part is correlation with Spt and Cpt. This means that you can calculate the pile bearing capacity, the QU, based on the value of Spt and also the Cpt value. Okay, and then the next part is determine the settlement analysis, settlement of pile. And then the last part in this pile foundations is about the analysis on the pile group. It's about the surface of knowledge in the pile group. Okay, when we talk about the pile foundations, we need to know about the pile bearing capacity. What is the pile bearing capacity? The bearing capacity is ability of the pile foundations to transmit the load either from the building or from the column to underlying bedrock or a stronger solid strata. It depends on the design. Sometimes we can reach to the surface of the bedrock. Sometimes we only have a stronger soil strata, strong soil strata, or strong soil layer. Okay, in the pile foundations, how to determine the Q ultimate or to determine the bearing capacity is based on the QU. Okay, sometimes we write as a Q ultimate, QULT, same. Okay, QU is equal to QULT. Okay, and then how to get the QU? You need to consider the QP and also the QS here. Okay, so sometimes a few books will be used the term of point bearing capacity. Sometimes we use a N bearing capacity, or sometimes we use tip bearing capacity. It's the same term for pile foundations. Okay, where is the location of N bearing, point bearing, and tip bearing? This is the location of N bearing, tip bearing. Sometimes we are using the QP, sometimes we are using QB or QUB or QUP. Okay, it's happened here at the base of the pile foundation. Okay, and then there is the frictional resistance, QS. Sometimes we consider as a skin resistance, and sometimes we consider as the shaft friction. Where is the frictional resistance happen? Is along the pile foundation. It's happened along the pile foundation at the side. Okay, so in order to get the Q ultimate is equal to QP plus 2QS. Okay, as you can see here, there is the cross section of the pile foundations for single layer. How about if we have multiple layer here? Okay, there is layer 1, layer 2 and layer 3. So you have different value of the frictional resistance. So you have the QS1, you have QS2 and also the QS3. So your QS is equal to submission of QS. Okay, and the last one is allowable load carrying capacity. About the Q allowable, how to get the Q allowable? Q allowable is the carrying capacity that consider factor of safety. Okay, means that either the safe or optimum load carrying capacity after we consider the factor of safety for that pile foundations. So the Q allowable is equal to Q ultimate divided by factor of safety.